Okay, guys, welcome to a brand new, fresh episode of WrestleSlam. It is the show after Clash at the Castle. It's the show after All Out. It's the show after CM Punk makes an absolute fucking prick of himself. It's the show after Braun returns. The show after Chelsea Green supposedly flashes her titties to the crowd, which is a bit fucking mental. Like, I thought it was a bit of a scandal, but it's actually legit. It's just a mad week in general of wrestling. I think it's probably the maddest one ever. Now, I'm going to get straight to the point, and I don't want this to happen because I'm not proud of what CM Punk has done, but he's going to steal the show. He's going to be the headline. CM Punk has gone off on one, absolutely gone off on one. I felt bad for Tony Khan next to him. Tony was like a little schoolboy right next to him, just looking at him. Punk has made an absolute arsehole of himself. Now, we're going to have so many opinions on this, but Joe, I want to go to you first, right? CM Punk.
Why?
it's just look, it's good to get the reactions from the rest of the Sound team first of all. Now, I'm not shocked he's done it, but given the circumstances he's spent, like, it was a good pay-per-view. We were all surprised. There were so many matches, but look, it actually did shine. It was a good pay-per-view. But why is Punk an absolute dickhead? Why did he do what he done, and why did he have to go off on one and change from the direction of All Out to, this whole Colt Cabana thing?
Some people are just born fucking assholes. I'm sure he's a nice guy to his friends. Obviously, somebody asked him about Colt Cabana, and he didn't want to talk about it. But he was after coming off of a match. His adrenaline was still pumping, and he just fucking let loose. And he doesn't like authority figures, even though he was sitting beside Tony Khan. But I've said it before: Tony Khan is a mark for CM Punk, and Punk doesn't see him as an authority figure. He just sees him as a rich fucking pocket like that he can use to benefit himself until he's ready to retire again. Yeah. The EVPs are the people he has an issue with. Obviously, he's had an issue previously, and whatever's going on with him and Hangman Page, those guys are going to stick behind Page as well as Dark Order and everybody else who will stick behind him. So for months we've heard rumors and we've had a feeling that there's something going on backstage and there's some sort of division between the rosters, and this is just coming to light, and this is only the start of it, I think. Whether it's true or not that the fight took place, nobody has, there's no eyewitness, account that says, yeah, I was there and this is exactly what happened. Nobody stepped forward, and there's some legal reasons why they can't talk about it. Yeah. So, I'm sure it'll come out eventually, from one of them. And if we see pictures of one of the Matt or Nick with a black eye, and CM Punk apparently got injured in the middle of it as well. So I don't know. He's just one of them guys. He just doesn't like people telling him what to do. He didn't like it in WWE, and he's not going to like it here because to him, even though he didn't like his time in WWE, it's still a bigger thing to him. It's still a bigger promotion. It's still made him a household name, and AEW isn't up to that level. So why should he take orders from these fucking pricks, as he calls them?
Yeah, like, people would say, look, it's good publicity for All Elite, because look, at the end of the day, people are talking about Punk. It's All Elite in the back. It's it's publicity, this and that. But Lizzie, like, he's definitely made an absolute clown of himself. Like, we know he had that pipe bomb back in WWE, but like, you think he's matured. Obviously, he stepped away. You can see he's still passionate, but he goes on this big rant, and we're all like, I didn't see it till the next morning, but we're all like, what the fuck? And then I think he's saying shit about Hangman Page, his talks, look, there's been punches backstage. What's your thoughts on it? Like, do you think it's a downward spiral for CM Punk after this, or do you think he'll just get a slap on the hand?
To be honest, starting out for the post, what was it called?
Media scrum.
Thank you. Post media scrum, or post event media scrum. I didn't like his demeanor from the start, and the fact, it sounds so silly, but I take notice of nuances in it and things like that, and body language. But for somebody, if my boss was sat next to me, and I was sat there in a meeting with all of these people who tell my story, munching on 2 cupcakes. Wow. It just screamed unprofessional to me. And the fact that he's allowed to do it, that's neither here nor there. But straight away, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. Immediately, I was like, you're coming across like a real wanker, big language, but I just thought you're coming across really, really, Then moving on from that, as Jerry said, look, come here, there's 3 sides to every story, yours, mine, and the truth. Okay, and it's going to be a hash of all of them, but absolutely there's shit going on here. Before any of this came to surface, there's more going on, but it was not the right platform to air the dirty laundry. It absolutely wasn't. And I would imagine you'd want to be walking around now like the blind man can't see backstage to know that none of this is going on. And the fact that it got to this stage is unprofessional, and it confirms what Triple H referred to as a pissant company, because there's absolutely no structure, by the look of it, no leadership guide. And I'd imagine now that we've all heard they've all been suspended, and I would almost put that down to media pressure, because people were like, you have to do something. And the fact that press media shit show wasn't called to a halt immediately when something was going on backstage, and Chris Jericho was left to sort it. It looks like an absolute shit show to anybody who was watching it and then found out what was going on afterwards. It's like throwing chairs, throwing punches, like calling each other names, willy waving and measuring. It makes me embarrassed to watch the whole promotion.
Yeah, and then as well, you have Tony Khan giving out about too many wrestling companies on Labor Day, which is a load of bullshit.
Well, sometimes you need to look at your own doorstep to make sure it's clear of shit before you look at anyone else's. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, but he was giving out
doorstep is covered in shit.
He was giving out about the buy rates being down because there's too many wrestling shows on the same weekend.
But on a decent one, we might buy it.
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
playing too many wrestling shows, but yeah, he wants to cram in about like 15 matches in one card.
Yeah. No, I would say surprisingly, I happened to watch it. I literally got chewed off, but I was surprised how good it was. Obviously, look, they try and ramp it, and for the fan spectacle, look, obviously they get to see so many wrestlers on show, but it was a decent pay-per-view, and I will say I enjoyed it. And there's some great matches. Obviously, we know Punk, he's champ again. That whole Rocky story. Dino, obviously you've seen what happened, my man. It's great to have you back. For the viewers that are looking at Dino right now, he's been on the show once before, so it's great to have him back. Tell us, what was your thoughts on this?
I didn't see the medium scrum. I just heard what happened, so don't want to be talking about that. The card was overpacked. There's too many people for one card. Tony Khan has 2 promotions, 2 shows a week. There's something he could do. Split up the roster. He can make 1 full Ring of Honor roster, 1 Rampage roster, and 1 Dynamite roster. Some way to form a way of breaking up any form of argument going on. So that's what should happen. But he's not seeing that because he's just marking out. He's finding a way of just keeping people happy. He's not solving issues. He's just plastering them.
Yeah. No, good point.
When you said that, he actually admitted that on the scrum.
Yeah.
He actually said, "People pleaser. I don't want to fight anyone. I'm here to please people."
Well, I think I think what Punk has done is absolute bullshit, but I think the aftermath's unreal, because now Bobby Fish wants to fucking fight CM Punk. Miro's breaking his bollocks backstage saying, "You'll come at me, CM Punk, and we'll see you try and talk shit to me." I think the viewership will be massive this week. I think, look, it is good publicity. Now, when I say good publicity for the channels, the networks, not for us fans, because obviously, look, it's bullshit what happened, but it's just going to be interesting to see what happens. There's talks out of Punk.
Is it good publicity for them as a company with the way the Warner Discovery thing's going at the minute? Because that's the last thing they want on their fucking books.
For the wrestling fan that knows wrestling, it's not good. No, of course not.
But for the wrestling fan, if they're suspended, if Omega or the Bucks, Punk and all them boys are suspended now this week, they're not going to be on Dynamite. So who's going to fucking tune in to see it if he's not going to be there? And they overshadowed MJF's comeback. Fair enough, MJF overshadowed Wardlow's big win at Double or Nothing. That's just desserts is coming around to haunt them. But if Punk is suspended, he should be stripped of the title. And MJF
and no interim champion.
No interim. Fuck that shit. It should go on to
just give the belt to MJF.
They need another tournament. They love tournaments, so that title needs to fucking go off him. He's too fucking. I don't even know what they call him. I made a fucking comparison yesterday on Twitter that AEW right now is currently like the Commitments, and Ian Punk is Deco, and one of these days Mecca Wallace is going to fucking knock him out. And this is exactly what's happening. They're all going to break up at the end. They're all the potential in the world to be this big promotion, or the Commitments are going to be a big band, and there's poor fucking Tony Khan, who's Jimmy Rabbit, trying to hold it all together, and all be nice to each other.
I love
and
it.
then it all expires at the end, and it's just going to go fucking haywire.
Started with Cody and Kenny Omega's next.
But
Yeah.
don't forget the Commitments had a big reunion in the Tree Arena there a couple of years ago. So look,
20 years later, like I'm sure
there's light.
20 years.
There's light. There's light at the end of the tunnel. But no, look, it's going to be some great opinions on this, and look, it's going to be interesting to see what does happen. Now, we don't know officially if wrestlers are suspended. Now, the rumor mill does say, look, there is going to be suspensions, and
there's also as well, just on rumors, there's also a bullshit rumor about CM Punk being injured, which is very convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Interim champ time maybe again.
No, what I can see happening this week, though, your first episode of All Elite this week, Punk comes out first. I think Punk is going to walk right out. I generally believe that's what's going to happen.
It spit in the face of everybody.
It will, and I think he knows he's fucked up. Do you know what I mean? He knows.
But the problem is, if he does that, he'll be ingenuine because he doesn't believe it.
Well, he did spit. He spat on everyone. Sorry, Mark. Well, he did spit on everyone, though. He did, because at the end of the day, he changes the subject. He goes backstage, does the media scrum, and he's on about something completely different, taken away from the success of the pay-per-view, you know?
Yeah, I was just saying that are we sensing another CM Punk pipe bomb maybe? Is he gonna go out and just like lash on everyone who has a problem with him, and they're just gonna use that work to build up feud?
He already did it.
Yeah, I think we already got the pipe bomb, and they've left too much time elapse between the event and now current time for anyone to take it seriously as a work, where if they struck when the iron was hot, they could have turned this into a work and got onto social media and started a war straight away.
Yeah.
But they've left it too long. Now nobody's going to believe it. So if they do come out on, if he does come out in Dynamite, he's going to get booed at the fucking building. Like,
I just have one question. Anybody see Being the Elite? I haven't seen it.
I have.
They put it out today. Is there anything on it?
No.
nothing.
Yeah.
Just an extended episode with Double or Try All Out on it.
It's such a shame though, because who remembers what from the pay-per-view?
All I remember
shadowed
is
fucking everything.
You know as well, right, from watching that show, right, just at the weekend, I'm sorry to watch track or whatever, but did you see that the Young Bucks' heart wasn't in that match?
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
They seemed a bit off, right?
Like, that match should have been way better than what it was.
I'm not just saying this as a fan of his, but I felt like Kenny did everything he could at his end to make the match going. But I can't.
But like they did their best they could do. But I mean, like, there's just something not right.
And money talks. I see that little meme on Twitter today. It was like, remember the Radicals when they went to you had Malenko, fucking Eddie, and they put in like Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Hangman Page in the crowd. Shit's happening. We're starting to see a little decline at All Elite Wrestling, which is a shame. But it's going to be interesting. Like, you're going to see a lot of shit happening over the next few weeks. Obviously, we talk about the pay-per-view quickly, guys. I think it was 15 matches in total, right?
I think it was more.
Was there?
If you're counting zero, then there was like 20 matches.
20 matches.
Like,
20 matches.
There's
a lot there.
There was actually 21. There was one after media scrum as well.
Boom.
Royal Rumble 2.0.
But obviously, look, Punk defeated Moxley via pinfall. Obviously, Jericho defeated Bryan Danielson, and then he said he was the best in the world. I loved me doing that to the camera.
That match, right? A lot of people hate on that. I don't know why, because that was actually good.
Why
did Jericho win?
There you go. That's why people are hating.
Yeah.
I felt like people.
It's Bryan Danielson. Do you know what I mean? And
I feel like it was all.
Jericho, but come on.
It's really good. Yeah, I really like this.
I felt like everyone hated the match because it happened like near the end of the pay-per-view. They should have started from the very beginning. Just because it's Jericho and Bryan Danielson, they know each other. They know exactly what they're doing. We were gonna go in for a good wrestling match, and I felt like they actually did all they can do. And I'm not just saying this because they're both my favorites at the moment. Like, they did everything they could, and the fans was just not into it. So I think if they start off earlier, then maybe we'll actually have a good response from everyone. But
Good point.
There was a lot of people pissed off about Christian Cage and Jungle Boy. Was it 20 seconds?
Injured. Well, Christian's injured. There.
Still a whole turn, you know.
Well, we know
we called it, didn't we? We said that Luchasaurus he hadn't touched stomach, but if Christian's the one injured, why didn't he take the pin if he's going to be out? Like,
I know, yeah. But maybe he's not going to be out, so he's just going to be on it every week.
Yeah, well, they made Jungle Boy look weak though. I will say that. Like I like him. I think his entrance is epic. I think he's got the fans behind him, but they made him look very weak. I didn't like that. His stock has dropped, in my opinion, and that's not good.
Yeah,
You know?
but
But there's a lot of fellas. Yeah.
they've done that with their pillars, their homegrown talent, likes of
Derby
Darby
Allin.
Allin has looked shit for the last year.
Yeah.
Fucking
Ricky Starks
Ricky Starks, like, he was,
on a hot track.
he was, the future. Like, he's cut that big promo, and everyone's like, this is it. Like, this is his breakout moment, and squash him in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was
And
horrible.
also, as well, like the Athena and Jade match was way too short as well.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that match.
Dino, give it to us, Dino. Give it to us. Go on. What's your thought on that match?
Why wasn't it as long as it should have been? Why didn't we get a title change? That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's
Like-
not ready. It's not ready yet. They're not ready.
Here, she had the title for nearly a year.
I know,
Like, I'm
yeah,
get-
but
it's
they're
the same-
building up.
Like, it's the same with Roman. I'm getting tired of seeing him win all the time. So can we just see some form of title change soon?
I just want to see Jade versus Bianca Belair. That's what I want to see. I want to see. That's exactly what I want to see. So
The thing is, right, just one quick thing on her. Who beats her?
I'm saying Sasha Banks.
WWE in 2 years' time.
The problem is, like, you can't bring someone in from another company and then they'll beat her. That's pointless.
Well, they could do Deonna Purrazzo again. They could bring her back for some form of impact relationship.
Yeah, it's going to be Tony Storm, lads. She's going to do it. I'm telling you.
Well,
I-
she's interim champ at the moment, so I wouldn't see her doing that.
I'm still going for Jade. They have 2 titles. Eventually, Double or Nothing next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good call. Obviously, we see Wardlow, FTR. That was quite good. Obviously, defeating Jay Lethal, the Motor City Machine Guns. Interesting match. Obviously, we mentioned Jay there. Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Ricky Starks. Tony Storm defeated Britt Baker. DMD, Jamie Hedder, and many more. She is the new interim champion, which is interesting. And look, I think it's the right call. I think Tony Storm, obviously, she made a brave move leaving WWE. Probably kicking herself right now, given the fact that everything's changed and Triple H is in creative control and he's the man that's changing things. And he's probably one of the reasons there's a few fucking nerves backstage at All Elite Wrestling kind of grinding their teeth. Now, I want to mention something, guys, quickly. Malakai Black, right? So, obviously, we know they lost House of Black. Obviously, Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro defeated them. It was an interesting match, a 6-man tag team match. But Phil, what's next for Mr. Black? Obviously, look, we know he had a great time in NXT. He's a Triple H boy. I know he's, there's rumors. I'm not going to speculate. There's rumors he's not happy at the moment and he's having a few issues personally. Does he step away for a couple of months, or is it just a case of maybe he just wants to get away from All Elite and go back doing his thing?
Well, he put up a really kind of, I know you probably saw it, the tweet he put up or the Instagram post about not feeling well mentally. So if that's the case, a break is needed. So I just think he'll take a 6 to 8 month break, to be honest. He'll go nowhere. He'll just take a break.
And he'll come back.
Yeah.
The worst thing he could do is go back in the WWE and start traveling around and not get a chance to, take time for himself. I know Triple H will look after him and stuff, but look after himself first. You shouldn't be relying on Triple H to look after him. He should take his break and enjoy whatever time he needs to take off and get his head right. And wherever he wants to go, he doesn't have to go back to WWE. He can, go back to AEW or, go back to Europe if he wanted to. Like, just take the time, get your head right before you do anything.
I love it. Lads, just for all the lads out there that are listening and watching, it's okay not to be okay. So look, obviously mental health's a big thing. So just remember, it's okay not to be okay. And always reach out, always talk to a friend or get it off your chest, and it will make a huge difference. And look, we've seen the reception he got when he walked up the Titletron. Obviously, he kind of bowed to the audience, the fans, and there was a standing ovation for him. So look, we hope he comes back $1 million in the near future, and he will be missed. There's no doubt about that. Before I go to WWE Clash at the Castle, because I really want to speak to Jordan and Elizabeth about their trip and our good friend Tom saying there was an incident with lightning. We will just quickly get through the rest of the matches at All Out, right? So obviously, great pay-per-view, in my opinion. Obviously, Omega, the Young Bucks, defeated Hangman Page, the Dark Order. Now, that was... I'm liking Omega. I think Omega finally looked like the old Omega. He looked really good. Looked in good shape. What do you think of that match, lads? Anyone enjoy that match?
It was good, but it shouldn't have been it was way not as good as it should have been.
Yeah.
I felt like the whole match was, again, I'm not saying this because I'm a fan of his, but it was just all Kenny, in my opinion. He was just carrying everything he could, as I said before. So it was a solid match.
Also, as well, I just want to say one thing about the ladder match. Didn't I say that last week? He do a Brock Lesnar. Just to throw it out there.
You did, Phil. You did.
I did. I swear to God, I did.
You did. You have the insight, though.
I was there.
Yeah. And we're going to mention that quickly. Look, obviously the Joker has he's got a championship match, and we all believe it's a certain man. Is everyone?
That Rolling Stone song cost him a fucking couple of million just to have it for that center.
Yeah. Is it MJF, lads?
It is.
It is. It was revealed at the end of the pay-per-view.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, it's not.
No.
It is. It is.
I was going to make a joke if it wasn't revealed that it was being me all along.
The only thing I hated about this, there's guys in that thing that are just like, lads, Billy Gunn's kids aren't ready for this.
Wait, MJF is the Joker. I could have sworn it was John Cena.
I like WMRC, fair enough, and a few others, but like, I'm not feeling one or two of those lads there at all. Wasn't there another guy as well? What was his name? There was a guy he was
Page and
the guy that loses every week, but he was I can't remember his name.
Brandon Cutler?
Could have been,
maybe,
but I don't think it was him.
Yeah. It's look, what's going to happen? Obviously, look, he receives a future All Elite World Championship match. Shit's in the air at the moment with Punk. Moxley's lost.
They should have just taken the belt off him the other night, and it would save us a lot of hassle.
Yeah, no, it's going to be. I'm telling you, I'm going to be watching All Elite this week. Maybe for the wrong reasons, but I will be watching. I'm curious to see the tension and all that shit backstage. And as you said, there's no real leader. You know, if the Undertaker was backstage, that shit wouldn't be happening. He'd be getting slapped into the back of the fucking head. So interesting. Eddie Kingston, guys, obviously he was in a brutal match. He got the win by pinfall. Pac defeated Kip Sabian. Hook was in a short match, beat Angelo Parker. And obviously the Jericho Appreciation Society, Sammy and Tay defeated Ortiz and Ruby Soho via pinfall. Now, it was a good pay-per-view, I must say, but we have to switch to another one. Clash at the Castle, and we had journalists in attendance. They were there. I was absolutely jealous to fuck when I could hear all the crowd sing Edge's song. You can all that. It was the proper European style. And I was only thinking to myself, if they were in Croke Park, Ireland, it would have been fucking even better, because we know the Irish really do dominate when it comes to cheering on their fans and you know what I mean, their fucking stars and stuff. But I'd say, Joe, there was probably 60-70% of the crowd were actually Irish. You could see flags everywhere.
There was a lot of Irish on our flight.
Yeah.
They were everywhere. It was surreal. We were walking around the streets, you know, on the day before the event, like, or even on the morning of the event, like, it was just it kind of had that WrestleMania vibe about it. Like, they took over the city. Like, Cardiff's not a big city. Like, the banners were everywhere. People were walking around the t-shirts. You just felt like, you know, you belonged there. Like, and it's not like walking around, you know, for a football match or a rugby match, like, because there's, you know, two different jerseys and they're all separated, but everybody was mingling together. And it was epic.
It was surreal.
Yeah, I loved it.
And look, we know there's going to be. Is it every year they're going to do something in the UK? Is that official? I think Triple H said it. Yeah.
I think he said in the interview with Ari Daivari, but whether it's confirmed or not, I think he kind of like touched on it. But if so, amazing. We need something over the side of the pond. The buzz around the town was just like, everybody was just so excited and such a positive vibe. It was so cool. So yeah, hopefully something every year, weather permitting, because we're limited with the amount of stadiums that have a roof. You know.
I got in a fucking argument there last night with a fella. He was trying to tell me there's only one stadium in the UK that has a roof, but I was trying to say the Spurs stadium has a roof. Am I right or wrong?
Also, only Cardiff.
Spurs one only partially closes. It's open in the middle.
And Wimbledon Centre Court. No.
There you go. So if they're to do it in the UK, there's probably going to be in Cardiff again, because they have that roof. It's a guarantee they can cover the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
they don't need to put up the 4 posts and the you know, for the Titans on that.
Yeah.
With the roof closed, they can hang everything off it.
And for all our Irish fans that feel the same frustration as you guys, where you had to make a trip from Dublin to Bristol, go from Bristol to Cardiff, was it an absolute nightmare, or was the adrenaline just getting you through it?
On the way over, defo, we were buzzing. I mean, you know, we were like raring to go, and like our flight was delayed because there's so many operational difficulties at the moment for all airlines, really. But we were delayed going over. But I think we were just buzzing to get there. On the way back, different story, because we were delayed again and we were just knackered. But do you know, like, I mean, if it never happens again, that's probably once in a lifetime thing, you know. So you will forgive an awful lot, you know. Next time we'll go longer. We'll go for longer. We'll go for the week.
Yeah, you miss out a lot of stuff, like when you land like on the Friday night and it's happening on Saturday, like, you know, the stuff that's happening a couple of days beforehand, like, you know, there's a buzz around the city.
You'd want to go on Wednesday, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. You'd want to go Wednesday and then stay for a couple of days after, because Cardiff is a great city, and you know, it'd be nice to actually stay there and see what it's actually like when the wrestling's all gone, like, because it looked like a great city and there's some nice spots around it.
I'm loving it. And like, as you say, it's hopefully the case. And look, they do it every year because I think we deserve it, us European fans. And you know, the mark was made. You've seen Edge coming out. We've seen, you know, Dominic Turner and his dad Ray. We've seen, you know what I mean, Drew and fucking Roman in an incredible match. So I'm going to get to that pay-per-view, and I'm going to talk, I suppose, about the main matches. Now there was a couple of matches, but obviously I want to talk about Roman defeating Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
So Philip Colley, give us your take.
Oh, it's brilliant. I love it. I don't want. When he was 8 days away from 1,000 without a pinfall, I was like, please get 1,000, please.
Yes.
You know, so I'm a bit annoyed by it.
No, do you know what? What's wrong with that pay-per-view? There was one thing wrong with it, because it was really good. There was no actual moments.
I don't know, Phil.
I don't mean that in terms of like things. I mean, like 1992, you had Bulldog pinning Brett. You know what I mean? Like, when you think of this now in 2 years' time, you won't remember, like, oh, Roman Reigns being.
I'll always remember Dominic Turner and his fucking poor dad.
Yeah. Remember the pop Sheamus got at the end was
frightening.
Oh my
God.
God.
There was no obvious big Bulldog Brett moments, absolutely. Yeah. But you know what? There were so many other moments, you know, that I will absolutely remember, like Dominic turning. It was crazy, but there was no like big build up to this big huge match. I know it was Drew and Roman, but like everybody wanted Drew to win, of course.
That's the thing I wanted to ask you, actually. What was that like live, the singing, because it wasn't good?
Horrific.
Terrible.
It was the only negative that we had from the whole thing was singing, and it was a general consensus of the entire stadium.
Nobody in the crowd knew that when Roman walked up to the ramp and they had the shot, it cut off on the monitors around. The fucking Drew and Tyson weren't showing on the big monitors. So we were like, maybe they cut off when Roman walked through the curtain, and that was it. And they showed that, you know, exclusive. We didn't know it was actually happening, still happening live on the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
it was uncomfortable.
It was so weird.
It looked that way though. I did like Fury knocking out fucking Austin.
Oh,
that was class.
So funny.
That was class.
I just say Tyson Fury is a big motherfucker, because when we walked into the press area to get our credentials, he literally just walked right past us, and I was
huge.
Like, oh,
massive.
Gone. I was like, sorry lads, no pictures. And I was like, fuck it.
He's looking good. He's looking $1 million, and I really did think he was going to fucking knock out Roman, and then I thought he was going to knock out Drew, because he was in the ring. He was kind of looking. I was like, something's going to happen here, but then the singing was a fucking nightmare. So obviously we had Madcap Moss, the Street Profits. They defeated Austin Theory, Alpha Academy, Damage Control, Bailey, Dakota, Io Sky defeated Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka. That was the right call, in my opinion, guys. I think Damage Control had to win that match. Lizzie, what way was that match? Was it good? Did you enjoy it in person?
Do you know what? There's no crowd like a European crowd, because they sang for Bailey the entire match, the whole match. I mean, there was just no getting away from it. And she got a huge pop. Asuka got a massive pop as well. She's huge with European audiences as well. But absolutely the right call, because it's a perfect way of setting up the feud now for Bianca and Bailey. And obviously for the girls to chase the tag titles now is what it seems how it seems to be going for the rest of Damage Control to hopefully come up with a tag team title match. But yeah, it was definitely the right call. But you couldn't hear what was going on in the match for the singing. It was unbelievable.
Surreal. Now, what I want to talk about, Charlotte, Elizabeth, quickly is Sheamus versus Gunter, right? Now, that was the match I was looking forward to most. We've seen Sheamus's chest. We know Sheamus is back in Ireland. Shemi, we hope you're having a good time in Dublin, my man. I know you're floating about the place. Well deserved. But tell us, we seen there was a standing ovation afterwards. There was a little rumor that it might have been in one of his last matches. Now, I don't think so. I think Shemi always has. I'm getting the Shemi from Mera, by the way. Mera calls Shemi, so sorry. But tell us, what was it like? What was the crowd like? And what was that standing ovation like? Because you were there, you must have got the goosebumps down the back.
Yeah, I still have goosebumps thinking about it. It was fucking surreal. Like, it's not very often you get to see a match of that quality, like, you know, live in person. And you know, regardless of how far away from it is, you know, if you're up the top of the stage or you're down close to them, you can fucking, when you watch them hitting each other, you can feel it, you can hear it. You know, when you're watching it at home, you can hear the slaps because of the speaker. You know, the microphones are all around them and it echoes it. But when you're in the stadium, everybody's just going, fuck, or ooh, or whatever they're fucking saying. It's just, you feel it, and it's just, I loved everything about that match. It was epic.
And that crowd loved Sheamus.
Quick question, right? That match or the tag match with Keith Lee, which was, I know you were there. But like, there's something about that Keith Lee match that I don't know. I can't shake how good it was.
The Acclaim should have won though.
Well, they asked Tony about that, and he said, "I'm not calling an audible. Stop asking me."
Well, he should have. Like, no, they are perched to be a ridiculously great face tag team. They are like they need to pull the trigger on them now. I love Keith Lee. Swerve is unbelievable, but they need to do it now with the Acclaimed, and don't fucking close the door after the horse is gone. And
well, he announced it for Grand Slam, so
Scissor me, daddy.
Scissor you, daddy.
Grand Slam is when they win.
You think so?
I hope so.
Yeah,
they should.
Oh, no, I was watching it, and do you know what I was thinking? This match, there's something about this match, and I was like, Jesus Christ. I don't know what it was. It was just magical. I thought it was magical.
Magical weekend. Magical weekend. What was your thoughts? Sorry, Matt, go on.
Oh, real quick. I saw this image on Twitter just this morning, and it was like another highlight that happened with the Judgment Day match. But when Finn Balor actually fell into the crowd, his parents was right in front of him, just laughing their heads off. So Dominic turning on Rey wasn't the only parental issue that happened in the match. So that was a highlight.
We'll talk about that, right? So obviously we've seen Edge's entrance, obviously Edge, Rey Mysterio, and Dominic, the fucking Judas bastard, versus the Judgment Day. Now, we know what's happened. Dean, were you surprised by the outcome? Were you surprised that Dominic finally turned on his papa?
There's no surprise, being fair to him. I feel like it was time for Dominic to be a solo wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, I think he's going to get a lucha mask at some point for the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it's going to be a kind of a legacy match. I feel like Rey might retire if he loses to Dominic.
He might.
That's a good point. When you mentioned that mask, Legado, who are coming up from NXT,
yes,
are the perfect group to go after Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh,
very
yeah.
much.
Unsolving the mystery.
Thing is, if Ray's daughter was any good, you'd have a perfect.
She was any good.
I think Rhea's
daughter,
right? Yeah. Could you not?
I have a question, right? Would you put Eddie's daughter with Dominic?
No.
She's quite good on the microphone.
Is she retired now, or she's still?
Is she active?
She isn't, but like she was still quite good on the microphone. I quite liked her.
Yeah, no, it's a good call. Good call. Just we'll have to.
I'm thinking no.
No, she just stepped away. I think she had some issues herself. But she
went through some mental health.
She will be back. She will be back. Before we go, we have to get in quickly, guys. Obviously, Liv Morgan defeated. She regained her SmackDown Women's Championship. Seth freaking Rollins. I think the crowd absolutely adore Seth Rollins. He defeated Matt Riddle by pinfall. Good match, great finish in my opinion. Quickly, guys, I want to get your thoughts on that match. Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle.
But right man won. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Great finish. Great finish.
And yet again, journalists, the crowd were exceptional for Mr. Seth Rollins.
Oh my God. It was just constant. It was just Oh, God, he was just conducting everybody. It was just constant. Just
People were doing that before the event even started. They were all practicing their songs
outside,
before it even started.
Oh, I love it. He's the man. He's the man. So yeah, that's obviously, look, guys, we could have talked for 3-4 days here with all the stuff that's happened. The midweek show is going to be happening, guys, and we're looking forward to a big, massive midweek show because, look, there's so much to talk about. We'll take anything that we have not spoken about on this show to the midweek show. Braun's back. Interesting to see what he's going to do. Obviously, he's just going to wreck places and wreck wrestlers. And
well, he's going to also slip with all.
maybe in time. We'll see what Triple H actually does with him. MJF, guys, he's obviously, you know, we're saying CM Punk's took the spotlight away from him. So, look, interesting to see what happens at All Elite in the next few days. There's going to be a lot of rumors floating about. But this show is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Don't forget the 4.0 package is available. Use our look at Matt at the top. Use our promo code WrestleSlam for 20% off. And as I said, check out Jordan and Elizabeth's vlog. They were over there. It's on Irish Wrestling and Entertainment on Twitter. Do give it a follow. Check out the vlog on their YouTube channel as well. And you will enjoy it. And Tom did tell us the plane was struck by lightning. I think he's just been a bit traumatic, is he?
A tad.
I was getting a bit worried about that. But look, you're safe. You're home safe. And we're grateful you're home safe. So guys, do tune into the midweek show. This show will be out on Wednesday. So do check it out. Check out our previous episodes as well. And as I said, we will be on for the midweek show this week as well. So from Booker G, from Queen Lizzie, from Dino, O'Leary, Matt Murphy, Phil, and myself, Jerry, thank you for tuning into WrestleSlam the podcast. We're grateful as always. It's a big week ahead. Enjoy your wrestling and stay classy.
Hi, guys.
Guys.